I've been playing a lot of creativity in Pioneer because it's been really fun and given me some good success. You get to play a lot of weird cards like Rotten Reunion, Vampire's Kiss, and you're able to essentially turn off the entirety of your opponent's removal suite with the exception of Fable in the Rakdos list and the zombie tokens from Rotten Reunion, which aren't really things they care to kill unless you're creativiting. But I've been playing the Izzet versions in the background. I found pretty good success with them. They've definitely got their pros and cons over the Rakdos version that I've been doing. I think the biggest advantage of them is card advantage, and in this deck it comes in the form of Dig Through Time, which is just an exceptionally powerful card. Even with no fetch lands, it is often just 2 mana, draw 2, but you also get to look at 7 cards, which in a combo deck, more looks means more chances of getting that creativity and winning the game. This version in particular is a little bit different than most of the ones I see online. I found this on the Creativity Discord, and this list I believe comes from Joe Lamb, who was able to win their RCQ with no Xenagos. That's the big change. There are definitely some advantages over it. Worldspine Wurm, even when it's not hasty 30-30, it's still really hard to deal with. It's also not a brick in the true sense that Xenagos is, since you can just shuffle it back when you discard it with Prismari Command, big score, heck, even Consider. And then Fire Prophecy, just like it would put it on the bottom for Xenagos, you can put it on the bottom with Prophecy. So having a deck without a true brick is quite nice. It's also more consistent if you need to do creativity X equal 1, which a lot of the times, if it's turn 4, you can just creativity for Worldspine Wurm, and that'll be enough. I think my first Pioneer deck was, after Devotion, was Titan, Transmog Titan, and putting 11 power across 2 bodies in play on turn 4 was often enough, and putting 15 power that has a Dies ability is pretty good too, maybe even better, even though the utility of multiple ETB triggers is not there. But we're going to see if not killing our opponent the turn we get our creativity off is worth being able to creativity for 1, which I think it probably will be. Just like all creativity lists, you have some fun inclusions. This list has Quicken, as well as Kazul's Fury. I think those are the 2 odd cards out, which I'm keeping the list at stock until I've done many more leagues with this. But so far it's nice. I've never gotten it off, but Kazul's Fury is just a fling, so you can swing the Worldspine Wurm and fling it at them at instant speed if you need to. It's also just a land. And then Quicken, a lot of your cards are instants except for creativity. So being able to instant speed creativity, maybe we'll get a cheese win in this league. Who knows? Sideboard is pretty similar to most of the Izzet Creativities sideboards I've seen, except for this one. It has more Shark Typhoons than I've normally seen. It also has a Narset's Reversal. Could be fun versus a control deck or versus a opposing creativity. Just being able to copy it and get our new targets will be fun, if we ever do. But that's the list. We are no longer trying to win the turn we creativity. We're trying to win the turn after. But hopefully the added consistency and lowered brick threshold is enough to get us there. But I'll see you for match number 1. All right, we are off in match number 1 with our Double Wurm Creativity. I recognize this player's name, but I don't know who they are. We're going first with 2 Worldspine Wurms in 1 land. I don't think I'd like to keep this, but that's fine. And this is a much better hand. We don't have a ton to do the first few turns, but Prismari Command and Dig Through Time have a lot of synergy together, and we are going first. So I think we can probably handle that. Our opponent's also on a mull to 6. We're definitely more towards the control end of strategies in Pioneer. This could be Rakdos, this could also be mono red. I guess we'll see if they play a land next turn or do something. Okay, so it's probably, oh, no. Goblins, okay, that's fun. I think I'm going to deploy the Fable here, get it ticking up. It also contests the Horde Master. Not like they'd probably attack with it into... Well, maybe they would, even if we held open Shark Typhoon. If they swing, we'll kill that. Okay, I'm happy to do that. They'll essentially get a chance for a redraw, but let's see if they hit it. Mountain. So they missed. We're going to discard two things. I'll discard both lands, actually. I want to get this dig through time ticking up, and it's likely we hit another land, and if we don't, we'll Prismari Command. Okay, no land. Maybe I even go for the Shark Typhoon, but actually, Fire Prophecy is the best one here, because it actually kills something. And I'll probably put back the Shark Typhoon, just because it's the most, or the least impactful one. Oh, sorry, I need red. Just keeping the board clean is nice. I think this is very versatile because it interacts with the board. Yeah, I think it's Shark Typhoon. We do get a land, which is nice. Not like we could do anything with it this turn anyway. But I really want to get this dig through time going since we don't have our creativity yet. Ringleader's strong. Not as strong as it is in... wow. Not as strong as it is in Modern, but still drawing 4 is gross. Pretty much the best case scenario for them. That's really good, especially because they've got a lot of small drops with the Battlecry Goblin. It's good that I have a way to kill it, but they might just go for the Hobgoblin plus Boundary Street. I think I want a big score to get another land. Discard the Fable. Okay, no land. Somewhat of a disappointment, but we'll have more looks next turn with Dig Through Time. I can just yield through. I expect the Battlecry Goblin here. Maybe they'll play that and then activate it this turn, is my expectation. If they do, I'll block the Battlecry Goblin. Okay, they did. This is way more threatening than anything else. Making tokens, giving things haste. I hate to lose the reflection since I could give a Worldspine Wurm a pretty decent buff, but it's better to kill. I think I'll Dig Through Time first. We're already maxed on it. Just get some more looks. They played the Battlecry, so they still have those two. Kind of a miss on lands that enter untapped. Den is kind of just better. I think I went the Impulse as well. Maybe I take double Impulse. I don't find that to be unreasonable. Maybe Impulse Prophecy, put back Fable. Yeah, I kind of like that. Any order. I want to Prophecy the Ringleader. I can always hold open the Impulse if need be. Put back that Mirror Breaker. Draw Anger. That's going to be quite nice next turn. No land and no real way to draw unless I want to crack both treasures, which I don't. I think if we just exhaust them, we should have a pretty easy time. We'll probably even land a Shark Typhoon at some point. Okay. That's the other two we knew about. Okay. We're going to take a big hit because of that Foundry Street. Maybe I even kill it. 6 damage is probably worth a treasure. And like not dying as well, because we would have just died. Land, quite good. Let's see if they're yielded through the turn. Yield check. They were not yielded through the turn. Not like they have any graveyard stuff, but it's pretty much just strictly correct for them to have gone for it. It's a lot of mana. Oh, just a Reminap Runes. Okay, I don't really care for that. So we've managed to pretty much exhaust them. I think I want to Prismari Command, loot and make a treasure. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm just gonna land a Shark Typhoon. Try and win off of that. Maybe I just cycle this. Yeah, it's probably smarter to just hold and cycle. We're so low on cards. And some board presence could be nice. Okay, they're completely out of resources now. They don't have any ruins. The Embereth is not super amazing right now. I'll just make it a 4/4. 4/4 should be big enough to handle anything they do. Would love another dig through time. Okay, well, ask and you shall receive. Gonna keep as many instants and sorceries, or at least 2 instants and sorceries, so our impulses are still live. Prismari Command should be enough. Get 2 more looks. Well, we'll take a creativity and an impulse. I can swing here. I'll play this on red, it doesn't really matter, but I don't want to take an extra damage if I don't have to. And I don't think I need to hold open any mana. I just want to kill him next turn. Okay. A board-based deck like Goblins, it'd be very difficult for them to win from that position. Okay. So, first game of the league, it pretty much didn't matter whether or not it was Xenagos combo, but sample size of 1 is not enough. Bring in Aether Gusts, they're a mono red deck. Might as well have a strong counter option to them. Could probably cut the Censors, being on the draw. Would love the other list, which had like 3 Angers, in combination of Angers and Sweltering Suns right now. But if I were facing control, I'd hate them, so. Take some, give some. Probably do just take the Censor. They're so low to the ground, I don't foresee it being amazing. We'll try this out. See how it goes. Okay, this is a palatable hand. We have some removal. We have a way to get this Wurm back. We have 2 ways actually to get the Wurm back, and a redraw. I wouldn't want to put this back. Only question is whether or not I play a pathway on red or blue. Oh, I guess I don't have to choose. I'm gonna let them pump it up. If they've got 2 1-drops, they're more likely to do it now because of the Foundry Street Denizen to get those 2 extra damage than if they had like a 2-drop that they need to untap with. Okay. Kill it. Legion Loyalist is also quite annoying, not only being hasty, but we're mostly tokens, so kind of annoying. We've got enough red that I can play this on blue. That'll allow me to consider and hold open both colors if I manage to draw something good. I'll let them attack first. Okay, now I'll consider. I think Fire Prophecy is better than our average draw. But our mana is also tied up with Prismari Command next turn. Yeah, I'll bin it. I like Shark Typhoon. It's a fun card. They have no plays. Maybe we've exhausted them. I've got basically 3 options this turn. Any of these 3. I think Shark Typhoon is not an option that I'm willing to do right now. And I think Prismari Command is... I like Fable normally. Just getting it ticking down is quite nice. It opens us up to removal. But I think I'd like to do it. If they have Stomp, this is worse, but it doesn't look like they have much anything. Conspicuous Snoop. Battlecry? Okay, they got the land. They might want to just use the Snoop instead of the Battlecry. They're thinking about it almost assuredly, weighing their options. Is the card advantage worth it? They decide the card advantage is definitely more worth it, which I respect. Because if they pumped this up, they would have been able to attack with all of them. Legion Loyalist would have triggered and I couldn't have blocked with that. So I will discard Wurm always, and Big Score as well. Charge up our Dig Through Time, which we drew. Bring back our Willed Spine Worm, though. Yeah, this card always amazes me that it's so good, also an instant. I just don't understand how it's also an instant, as well as being just one of the strongest cards in the format. Well, not as strong as Treasure Cruise, but still quite good. Anyway, I could kill the Snoop now, I could kill the Loyalist, I could kill the Battlecry. All of them are things I want to kill. I could also attack. I kind of like attacking. The Loyalist will always prevent our Shaman from blocking unless we kill the Loyalist, which I'm not too eager to do. I can hope that the next card on top is not a Goblin. I can do anything at instant speed, but if I'm going to kill the Goblin Shaman, or sorry, the Conspicuous Snoop, I might as well do it now. I kind of want a Big Score. Kind of want to Dig Through Time, but I think Prismari Command makes the most sense. How about I just do this in Draw Step? Yeah, there's not really a reason for me to do it beforehand. These are all instant speed. Okay, Foundry Street Denizen. Is that scary enough for me to want to kill the Snoop? I think the Battlecry Goblin's still scarier. I think I'll make myself loot and make a treasure. No, loot and kill. Yeah, I kill this. If they want to pump it up now, they can. One of the downsides of this version of the play. I know they have at least 5 lands available this turn, so they could still pump twice, but they wouldn't get the haste on the Denizen for the extra damage, or extra 3 damage. And they're not going to get pack tactics. And we have 2 more looks at a 1 mana removal spell. They do go for it. Can discard Big Score Shark Typhoon, I think. Oof, they hit another Battlecry Goblin. It's not good for me. They're hitting a lot of gas off the top. I'm going to yield and then dig through time at the end of the turn. I'll have 2 targets available. And it's not like this clock is insurmountable. Gotta use a treasure, but I'll have 2 of these as I mentioned. 7 looks, and that's a lot of misses. I'll at least take Aether Gust, Odawara. I think those are the best ones available to me. Okay, another miss, quote unquote. I guess I'll play the Odawara, go for Fable, and Aether Gust the Loyalist when they go to begin combat. But they have another Loyalist in hand, so maybe I Aether Gust the Battlecry Goblin, but they can just cast it off the top. Yeah, we're not in a great spot here. And they're hitting so many good things off the top, which is deserved since they had nothing but lands in hand for a while. Yeah, I think we're just in a very rough spot here. We'll have a couple more looks. And I think the scariest thing is the Battlecry Goblin, because they can pump it up anytime. So I guess maybe it's not the scariest. Maybe Squee. I'll do Squee. There's so many threats. I don't think I'm in a good enough spot. No reason to hit a Loyalist. No reason to hit Snoop. I'll block 1 thing. I can block 2 damage, no matter how I do it. Yeah, I think I just lose here, unfortunately. Oh well. A little rough, but we'll have another chance. I don't think there's any sideboard decisions I would rather make. The Shark Typhoon is an option, but I'd rather have removal, honestly. That Conspicuous Snoop combo with the guy that gives it haste was quite scary. Not enough lands. Okay, this is tolerable. Maybe a little bit too much blue for my liking. I'm gonna play this tapped. We'll at least have a turn 2 play with Impulse into turn 3 with Fable. Okay, we'll do the same thing we did last time with Foundry Street and let them play out a little bit more, and then we'll decide what we want to do with it. If it's Snoop, I'll kill it. Fanatical Firebrand. That's 1 trigger. Legion Loyalist. I think I'll probably kill that one, actually. Our Foundry Street can be blocked, or their Foundry Street can be blocked by the Fable, assuming they don't have another one, which I hope they don't. We do take a little bit more damage this way. Dig through time is always nice, if it doesn't miss. And we do have the 2 discards with that, and then 2 discards with that. Horde Master. Block like that. They'll get another chance to redraw. They hit Castle Embereth. Do I want to do Prismari Command now? Not really. I think I might discard Big Score Odawara. Yeah. I want to draw another land really badly, but I also want to get my dig through time going. Okay. We hit a land. I think I'll probably be Prismari commanding, looting, killing the Horde Master. And this is until the end of their next turn. So if I kill this, they'd only have that turn to do it. So I'll probably do it now. Like, I'd love to be doing 3 modes. I'd love to loot, make a treasure, and kill that, but obviously it's not how it works. Probably just keep Consider because I can use it to get our dig through time maxed out. Battlecry Goblin, so they do get to cast that if they'd like. Let's see if they're still missing lands. Okay, they're still missing some land drops, which, you know, I'm fine with, I guess. Not how I like to win, but I like to win. Okay, bin a land, get a land. Good draw. It's removal. Get to look 7 deep. I will always be taking the Creativity. And I might just take the Fable. Or the Prismari Command. I guess I could continue to try and exhaust them. I've already got the land, so I don't want to take that. Creativity always. I think Fable makes more sense. We've already got like removal with the Impulse, and I don't necessarily feel like I need that many more. And this gives me another token, since I might just end up blocking with the Reflection. Though if they don't put a scary board, I won't, and then I'll just attack them for 15 and make 3 tokens with the one that dies, or the copy that dies. So we'll see how they do it. We certainly got some options. Always a little nerve-wracking tapping out, but we're Creativity. Just a Hobgoblin. Not really any capacity do I care about that. Gosh, I really hope they don't attack. They would just get destroyed so much if they don't. Okay, I could double block and they could kill the Reflection. Don't really care to do it that way. I'll just take it. We're gonna put up 15, 30, 45 power next turn. I could discard, don't really need to. This land is quite good. Red it up. Might as well do this pre-combat for 1 then. I don't have Quicken. I could also attack and then do it so I'll have a blocker. That probably makes a good amount of sense to me. If I'm gonna do that, I should kill this now. Then I'll still have... If they block with the Firebrand, yeah, I think this makes the most sense. It's kind of an awkward way to do it, because I've got 5 plus this activation, but I can't do this activation X = 2 on both of these and hold it open. Just too many riches, I guess, an abundance of riches. I think I'll target 2. It's going to be exceedingly difficult for them to win from this position. They couldn't even kill it with the Firebrand. I'm sure they were holding open that option. We show them everything, and they concede. Okay. Yeah, they were kind of a little hurting for lands that last game, but we still got there. Little awkward use of the mana. Would have liked to have been able to do everything, but you know, we didn't have enough mana. It's only turn 6 for us. Yeah, that was match number 1. Didn't really matter whether or not it was Worldspine Wurm or Xenagos for this match, but we'll see for the remaining ones. I'll see ya for match number 2. Alright, so we return for match number 2 with a Gigantha companion from our opponent. Our hand is decently heavy on the dig through time, but we have Impulse and Consider, so I would say this is a pretty decent hand versus what I expect to be heroic. Okay, looks like it is heroic. Don't like to take the 1 damage from the Shivan Reef, but whatever. Worldspine Wurm is always the worst draw, now that Xenagos is out. I'll kill this, most likely. If they go for, yeah, I was going to say, if they go for one of the actual heroic targets, I'm going to kill that instead. It's just way more threatening. A lot more damage across the turns. Prismari command is quite nice. I'll at least hold the Consider. Gotta find another land. But we'll have 3 looks at it. They're probably thinking if they want to go for like a sorcery speed draw spell like Ancestral Anger. No, just an Arcanist is what they decide on. I guess I can go for the Consider now. Yeah, I'd like to keep that. I'll be taking a 1 damage. And then I'll be killing this and looting, most likely. Okay, drew another land. Can't really complain about that. Yeah, I think I'm going to kill this. Draw. We could make a treasure if I was hoping to draw like exactly Impulse here. Creativity's good. We can go big score next turn. And then Creativity afterwards. Gonna try to. They have free reign. I'm tapped out. Fable, I don't think that changes anything. And there's no reason to big score now. They haven't had any actual instants or sorceries, which is, you know, good for me. I'm gonna dig right now. We don't hit anything, but they don't know that. Hoping they don't have anything else. Courage is scary, but not lethally scary. So they'll be at 8, 9, 10, 11. I think we'll be at 2. So this would definitely be a position where I would rather have Xenagos. But who knows, that Worldspine Wurm we drew, maybe that would have been Xenagos. So we'll be at 2. We'll lose to any protection spell. Without question. Okay, well, I was going to say I don't think they have one if they're playing like that. Now we can lose to a lot of things. I still think I just have to go for it. I could target the 10th district, actually. Doesn't really benefit me much. So if they have Any pump spell we lose. If they have any protection spell we lose. Let's see what they got. Maybe it's just 2 more lands in hand. Okay. That gives it +1, right? Yeah. Go to the next. So that's unfortunate that we would have won if we'd done the other way, but or the other build, but that's just part of how these things go. Bin some of the cards that I don't think we need. Probably bin a Shark Typhoon. Stick with this. Yeah, I think this is fine. Argument, of course, for Spell Pierce, but I'd rather just attack the board with these and these. We'll go first after they reveal their companion. It's a palatable hand. We need another land. I don't think I'm even going to start with Den, just because their 1-drops aren't that scary, and we'll have an opportunity to kill them before they are able to protect it. Okay, they didn't even have one. Still do need another land. We can cycle Shark Typhoon end of turn if they don't put out anything too scary. Okay. I think I'm just going to cycle. Really do need that land. Okay, we hit it. I'll get the Fable going. We're leaving ourselves a little bit open, but I can't... It's either float 2 mana with Fiery Impulse, or deploy the Fable and start getting up ticks. And we can just go for a Creativity next turn if we draw a land, which we are going to, of course, with 3 draws. Okay, they go for a little bit of a pump. So this might be a game where we win because we have the new build of Creativity, if things go well. Even if this thing has Vigilance, I will go for an attack first, just because I don't really want to have my Creativity blanked by something like a Reckless Rage. I'm not going to block. It's only 4 damage. Arcanist. Not the most terrifying thing I've ever seen. Okay, well, we didn't draw Wurm, and we did draw our land. I'll get to attacking. It's 100% the correct thing to do. Maybe it'll even get through without a block. Looks like that's the case. I think I'm just going to go for the Creativity here. X = 1, but still very strong. Leave open the treasure or kill the Arcanist. I think I'm going to kill the Arcanist. I think I can just hold this off enough. And we do have Spell Mastery. Yep, we do. So I couldn't have done that if I were on the Xenagos build, or I could have with a 50% fail rate or 50% success rate, depending on how positive you want to have an outlook of it. Anger, essentially irrelevant. I highly doubt they can make this a 15-15, but you know, I've been surprised by this deck before, and who knows, even if it dies, we'll still have some friends. If they're not careful, they could have just died to our Den of the Bugbear, but it looks like their favorite Hoplite will stop that. Okay, we can't block even if we'd like to, which we do. That's a really good draw. I will be throwing my Wurm at my opponent's face after we've dealt them 15. Cast. Choose any target. That's the target I'd like. Let me pay the cost, and then I'll pay the additional cost. Stack my triggers. I do want those worms, and I want my Wurm back in the deck. Okay. Please take 15 additional damage. So that was an absolutely incredible draw, like bar none the best draw in the deck. Aside from, I guess, well, no, that's probably even better than, yeah, that's the best draw on our deck. We got it. So, glad to do that, but I think we would have gotten it regardless. Do I want to change anything? I don't want Censor, don't want D-Stroke. Negate is an option, Narset's Reversal is an option, but not a good one. Dispute isn't really good. Yeah, I think I'm just going to stick with being on the draw is a little bit scarier, especially in a volatile matchup like this. But, oof, I can't do nothing for 4 turns, or for 3 turns, I guess. Maybe if we were versus control, we could keep this, but no control from our opponent, and they are uncontrolled and unhinged. So we will be mulliganing. They are too. This is better. Removal and some board presence. I'll put back the steam vents. I think we'll be drawing at least one other land at some point. And our land situation is pretty good. These are some of the better lands we could ask for. And this is kind of a good variety. Aether Gust has some issues, but they've shown that they're a little bit more red heavy. Danto Vanguard, okay. Kind of stonewalls our removal. Den is going to be played here, since might as well play an untapped land while we have a chance. So this won't do too much to Danto, unless we're like need to deal them exactly 4 more. I'm going to try and kill this over Aether Gusting it. If they have protection, they do. It's another card out of their hand. Looks like they do not. Why would they target it? That doesn't make much sense to me, because it's going to die. Maybe they care about the scry more than 1 extra damage. I think I'll put back a Stormcarved Coast. Maybe this Otawara will actually be pretty good versus the Adanto Vanguard. Could also put back the Aether Gust. I think I'll put back the Coast. Fry is a card. Yeah, I think this Otawara is going to be pointed firmly at the Adanto Vanguard. I'd like to get this Fable down now. They're kind of low on resources. I always wonder if these decks keep in their removal. Okay, Illuminator will be fried if it is capable of being fried. I don't really care to make them pay 4 here for my goblin. Kazul's Fury is quite nice. I'm going to pitch the Aether Gust here. Maybe the Fury can also go. I mean, it's a win condition, but how valuable is that? I mean, it can also be a removal spell. Maybe that's worth enough. Yeah. I think it's better than our average draw by a little bit. And I think I am going to attack. Our blocker just does so little, and if they try and kill this, we'll just be able to kill their Virtuoso. I don't think they have a protection spell, actually. I'm pretty sure... Well, they might not have been willing to protect the 10th District Legionnaire, just because they have a Virtuoso that they'd like to protect. Regardless, I'm going for the Fable, I think. And then we can always fry them alive. I don't think I want to upkeep stop or anything. They only had 2 cards in hand. Defiant Strike. I'm going to try and fry this now. If this goes off, it's really good. Can yield through the turn. Okay, looks like we managed it. That's really good for us. We essentially 2-for-1 to them. I will be blocking this one, I think. Make them pay a little chunk of life, which will put them down below 15. Add Gigantha, most likely. No, just another Virtuoso. I'm going to discard this Spire Bluff Canal. And we can use this as a removal spell, kind of... Oh, never mind. I was going to say I'm kind of fine with doing that, even though it's a little bit more card negative than we'd like. But there's like a 0% chance they wouldn't have used a protection spell if they had one. They essentially lose a draw and their Virtuoso by not doing that. Next turn we can just have a chump block every turn for this Reflection. I'm going to see if they block with a Virtuoso too. Always force that out of them before I commit to something, because they did happen to draw it magically off of the Virtuoso, then it would be kind of bad for us. I think we can bottom the Kazul's Fury. I want to find a Creativity here. Another Fable. Sure, why not? Let's do another Fable. Strong card. I'll probably block with the untapped Goblin Shaman token. Make him pay another chunk of life, and then we can just block him out every turn. We can even do the Kiki Dance at the end of their turn. These 4 live payments will start adding up pretty quickly. I mean, they can already only do it once more if we go all out with everything. I'm waiting for them to add Gigantha. Okay, they just do that. I'm going to discard at least 1 Shark Typhoon. Probably both. Yeah, probably both. Another removal spell would be nice. You know, Creativity is also pretty nice. I think they're just dead. No, they're not just dead here. But I can attack and then split the Wurm. I can either... So I can attack with the Shaman. They're not going to block, even if they want to. And then I'll Creativity... I could Creativity for X equal 1 on just the Shaman, then copy it and make it split up. Who knows? I'm always attacking first. And then once I verify that they're not blocking, I will make my move. Probably just smart to X equal to it. I mean, okay. Okay, that's fine by me. That actually does make the decision-making process a little bit easier. And it's not like we lose out on X equal 2, because we still have 2 targets if we wanted to, and we turned our token into another token anyway. So I think I might want to keep the Kiki dance alive. So just 1 target, and then during the end step of my turn, I'll copy it with Kiki Jiki. I think that makes the most sense to me. Yeah. It'll die during their end step, but it'll split apart. I don't think there's any draw in their deck that wins them the game, though maybe a combination of Defiant Strikes could have gotten them there, but no, I just think this board is too solid. They managed to hit very few Defiant Strikes or those style of cards, and when they did, we had enough removal. Still not sure if Aethergust was the move, but it didn't really matter. It was just any card in our deck since we discarded it. So it's match number 2 done. Still feeling kind of center of the road about Xenagos versus a no Xenagos build. We lost 1 game and we won 1 game because of that. But game 3, we could have gone for X equal 2 and killed them, but it didn't matter. So it's a toss-up in these matchups so far. But I'll see you for match number 3. All right, we are back for round number 3 with a very functional hand. No creativity, but a lot of good stuff. Would hate to throw it back. I recognize this player's name. I assume I've seen them in some of the challenge lists, because I don't think I've faced them personally. Looks like Mono Green Devotion, if I had to guess. I'll at least start with the island. Maybe I can hit something big with the sensor. Okay. This could be Transmog Titan, but I'd expect a Kira. Could be that Gruul ramp deck that exists in some capacity. I'll deploy the Shivan Reef. Maybe I can snipe a Cultivate if it is the ramp deck. This could also be Gruul mid-range, but I would have expected something a little stronger of a start. Who knows? Castle Garenberg makes me think it... Okay, yeah. We will absolutely be taking that. So it is that Gruul ramp deck. We're not the most afraid of it in terms of it interacting with our board. The Wurms are a little bit more vulnerable, but not by very much. And Ugin can't even kill this, because Ugin has to -7 at max. Maybe they already have an Ugin out, though. Yeah, this is just forests. Cultivate, but only forests, and sometimes it can get an extra 1 in hand. Okay, we got our creativity a turn earlier than normal. Always the Wurm. Probably also the shark. Yeah. Wurm goes back. I think I'm gonna warm up with the treasure. It's the same clock. If we wait 1 turn, it'll take us 1 turn after. If we do it now, it'll take 2 turns, so I'll do it now. Open our mana up a little bit. Target here, because we can still attack with that, assuming they don't put down something. I guess I do have to take 1 damage. Yeah, there's no way I can do it for x equal 2. Well, technically, I can do it x equal 2. Target these 2, but I'd have to pay with the treasures, so it would only resolve as x equal 1, essentially. Wurm up. They might be at 1 if things go our way. I don't think their deck can interact with our Wurm in a favorable manner. Yeah, because Ugin is like their real scary board wipe. They also run, I think it's Dragon Lord Atarka, the red-green one that deals 8 damage and is an 8/8 flying trampler. But we just don't care. I think they can put the Atarka out if they want. No, just Cav. What do they hit with the Cav? Probably take a Sanctum. This is 7, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, the Wurm will be swinging. And then we'll probably Fable. Though we could also hold open Dig Through Time. I can also just swing with the Shaman for the mana availability. It's always going to be chump blockable. And if they're blocking here, then they're not blocking the Wurm. I think I'll just take the free damage. It's really just me turning the Goblin Shaman into treasure, because I think they should block here. This turn at least. And next turn we'll have 2 Worldspine Worms, unless they kill this with an Atarka. They're at 3. This would cost us 5 mana, so we couldn't do both Fable and Dig Through Time. But, you know, I really don't need that, because they could have 8, they could have enough to prevent us from killing them with Worldspine Wurm. It'd be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, but not enough to kill our Worldspine Wurm, and they'd have to double block in order to not die. I think I'm going to go for the Fable. If they have a Tarka, they kill both of them anyway. I think this game is heavily in our favor. They would need something unexpected from this deck, because Ugin doesn't help. Atarka does help, but doesn't win. Another Cavalier doesn't win. World Breaker doesn't win. The Lair of the Hydra doesn't win. I guess I'll see. Okay, they start with creature mana, so it's not Ugin, not like that would matter, as I mentioned. I'm expecting an Atarka, or World Breaker, maybe? Okay, Atarka, yep. So they're not going to die here. Oh, it only deals 5 damage. I thought it dealt 8 for some reason. And we're 1 off of our Dig Through Time. The Sylvan Caryatid, so that's 8, 9, 10, 11. They'd still have to block with these 2 at minimum in order to not just die this turn. And if they do block it and we hit some removal, we can just win anyway. But they'll probably just put everything in front of it, since that's just the correct play. I'll swing out. If they just block with Atarka and Cav, we win. But they're going to put everything in front, yeah. That's the smartest way. Blocking orders, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we can kill everything. They can get back another Atarka, but it won't matter. I'm going to order like this, and then I'm going to Dig Through Time first. If we hit Fiery Impulse or any spell that deals damage to them or these creatures, we just win. So we'll do it now. And can I do this and keep Spell Mastery? I think I'm supposed to do this first, because I want the Spell Mastery. It's 6 to delve, and we only have 6 in card. Yeah, 6 in there. So I'll deal it to the Tarka. I don't think the 1 damage is going to make a ton of difference, but it's best to play it properly, and anything that we would care about Is only 3 mana anyway. Prismari Command works. Kazul's Fury also works, but let me verify. So they have 5, 11, yeah, that's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, yeah. Prismari does it, but we'll get Kazul's Fury as well because it's funny. And we can just deal them the 1. And when they go to target, we'll just kill them with the Prismari. I don't really want to show them that we have. And I'll make them draw the cards. Maybe we'll get a little fun information from them. They're at 2. They're dead, but they still have to discard before state-based actions are checked. So we'll get a little bit of information, maybe. Cool. We didn't get any information, but that's fine. We still got what we wanted. Pretty good showing there. I don't think it mattered anyway between the 2 versions. Aether Gust, absolutely amazing here. Disdainful Stroke, really great here. Censor was surprisingly good. Our board's kind of hard to deal with. For them, as I mentioned, Ugin, unlike in the... I used to play Versus deck a lot because it got popular around the time when I was playing Transmog Titan. And Ugin, even though it has to literally minus its entire loyalty and die to kill a Titan, it still kills Titan and everything else on our board. Maybe multiple Titans, maybe Eska's Chariot, all the tokens. So just having something with this high a CMC is quite nice for Ugin specifically. I don't think Anger's going to be great. Can cut a Quicken. I don't think we need to be tricky about the creativities. I liked Censor there. Maybe it's not great. Probably Shark Typhoon can kick it. Maybe Prismari Command. But it's just good versatility. Maybe I cut a Prophecy, actually. We're not as... we don't need the Prophecies as much as we do versus something like just any deck that has creatures that are small. I'll probably keep the Shark Typhoons over the Prophecy. Run something like this. Maybe even Prophecies over Impulse. Yeah, I think I like Prophecy over Impulse. Because, I mean, again, we're not trying to kill creatures. Nothing that we really care about is killable by that. Could run another Shark Typhoon. Yeah, I think something like this is more reasonable. So we'll see how game 2 goes. Slower hand, but the cards we do have are quite good. I mean, 5 lands is never where you love to be, but Odawara is quite good here. Big Score and Prismari Command are very powerful. I think I'll keep it. We're not going to have those instant win games, but... Okay, so they have Grazer. Not going to have those instant win games with this. Okay, never mind. I was going to say with Wurm, but Kazul's Fury definitely gives us the opportunity to get those instant win games. Maybe this card is just cracked in this deck. They're off to a blazing fast start. Probably Forest and Mountain, yep. They even keep the same artworks. Good. I'm glad that they keep the same artworks, not because of aesthetics, but because it makes it so I can't track what's in their hand. They can already cast a World Breaker here, I think. No, they're one off, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they're one off of it because World Breaker's 7. We might just be too slow. They've hit a lot of ramp though, so maybe they don't have a payoff. That's pretty unlikely. Their deck has at least like 10 payoff cards in it. Not great for us. Slows us down a whole turn. But it's not the fastest clock I've ever seen. I'm going to draw and make a treasure here. Yeah. can discard that. Probably discard a Prophecy as well. Hey, at least our third Spiral of Canal comes in untapped thanks to them. And they could have kept open one more mana if they'd used the Castle Garenbrig, right? Oh no, because they would have had to use 2 on the Shrine, so it didn't matter. Since Shrine's mana double can only be used on colorless, which this mana ability would not count as, so it doesn't matter how they did it. One of these 2 is going to add an extra mana, but you can't use Castle Garenbrig with Shrine in that scenario. Okay, what do we need to win? We need creativity. We've got 3 looks at it. We're going to be big scoring. Then we need to not have them have like some random green creature that can kill a 15/15 and the 3 tokens it makes, which is not super likely. Green doesn't normally have that capacity. And red's going to be direct damage, which 15/15 can certainly soak up a lot of damage. We need them to not have a strong play this turn that puts us on a fast clock. I think they... I don't know if they would have gone for a Tarka if they had it. World Breaker's good on board, setting us back and having a decent clock. Tarka is like a 3-turn clock though, whereas World Breaker is a 4-turn clock. Okay. What do they have? I mean, Lair of the Hydra also just beats me across 2 turns. Can always Odawara it. Looks like they're not attacking with the world or anything. Okay. Weirdness going on. I guess they don't technically know I am the no Xenagos build. Disdainful Stroke would have been nice a couple turns ago. And notably still no way to get our friends out. What do they have at instant speed? Or do they just accidentally auto-yield through turn? Not really sure what that was about. 3 more looks is scary. Your hand doesn't do a ton. I might just use the Prophecy to cycle them out and try and hit something a little bit stronger. Would love one of our dig through times here. Shrine is essentially irrelevant. They have all the mana they could ever need. Are they gonna not attack it through again? I don't know why. Maybe they think that, because they would be able to stave off a 10 power attack if we did it that way. So maybe they're thinking that that's the way to do it. I mean, they don't know we don't run Xenagos. But yeah, they could put up more than 10 power with the Lair and the World Breaker. I'll bin a land. Negate is fine. Better than a land, at least. I don't need any more tokens. They're not going to be landing much. But they could just be attacking with this Lair and winning. Cavalier. I will stroke that. Best to stop cards like this before they hit the field. Okay, what is this going to be? Emrakul? Okay. I can counter this one, right? Yeah, I can. me just verify again. There's nothing on it. It would normally pop up to say can't be countered. Kazul's Fury doesn't do anything, yeah. And Fire Prophecy, I might as well. Well, I'll at least wait for them to pass turn. What they can do is Odawara, their own World Breaker, and then Fire Prophecy in response. So maybe I'll just Odawara it so they don't have anything they can do on our turn. We do lose a land, but they would channel it anyway. So hopefully we don't draw anything that they can do. They can Fable and then Fire Prophecy it, put back Kazul's Fury. But, you know, they're just kind of putting out Fable then, which is good for us. We're not a hand that can be super destructive to itself. So for all the mana they spent, I'm not scared too much. I expect Fable. Maybe they'll sack it to Kazul's Fury myself. That would make some sense too. Oh, they'll just counter the Fable? That's fine. They should tap the treasure token. Maybe play the Kazul's Fury too. I guess they're deciding on the Kazul's Fury as a land. Okay, they decide on it. I'm okay with this. We still need to draw something good anyway. Den does not count. So we're in dire straits, not because of that really, but because of just our draws not being the best. Shark Typhoon would be good. We could Creativity our Den token, or just the Den itself at some point maybe, if they don't commit to the board. But they will because they've got Cavalier, as well as something to kill our Den. We can just yield, they know our hand. So getting Emrakul is pretty strong. Not sure about the Warping Whale. I guess that's something we have to play around. World Breaker should hit our Den. They have lethal next turn with the Lair, if I'm not mistaken. Not anymore, but I don't think we have many outs here. Maybe they're just holding a Warping Whale and that's why they were fine passing like 18 turns in a row. This is just, yeah, it can add dragons or Ugins. Not like they have any. Lair is big, bigger than our Shark Typhoon. They shove. Might as well block the Lair. Didn't hit anything good. Didn't hit anything good. Okay, we'll go to the next one. I could cycle, but nothing we draw would have mattered. So they were just too fast for us there. I don't think I'd like to change anything in our sideboard. We'll just hope to have a little bit more of an active hand and maybe not get Emrakul. But we'll see how it goes in game 3. Alright, we will go first, of course, with a pretty passive hand. Dig Through Time is good, but it's not like it is currently active with this hand. I don't know. It's a very do-nothing hand. I think I want to throw it back, even though I don't like mulliganing very much. This is just exceptionally good hand. Don't even know what I want to put back. Maybe just the Consider. I'm not putting back Creativity or Big Score. I'm not putting back these lands. Prismari Command is probably the most keepable because it can allow us to turn 4 creativity. Yeah, I like turn 4 creativity. They kept a 7. Probably, yep, turn 1 Grazer. The Sloth. Okay, another land. I'm not sure if I am going to go for a turn 3 creativity. I can always hold that open anyway. But if I big score, or sorry, turn 4. If I big score for a turn 5 creativity, I'll just win that next turn. Whereas it's possible I lose to some manner of nonsense from them. Nah, probably not. Okay, they could be holding open that Warping Whale. Still think I'm going to loot and make a treasure. Dig Through Time's a nice pickup. Bin that. Bin that. Dig Through Time and Prismari Commander are always a great combination. That shrine makes me very suspect. To the point I think I'm just going to big score, pitch Fable. They've shown that they run the card. And if I can get like a negate to stop that, I'd be happy. Okay. I think I'm going to big score now. If they hit a land, they can still hold it open, but maybe they won't. They have to hit a colorless land. Which they do. Yeah, so they're still able to hold it open with these two. Scary. And there's no reason to go for dig now. I think I'm going to hold off on it one more turn. We're not under a super fast clock, and it's just so dangerous to us to creativity now. I could just be playing this way too slowly. We give them a lot of time, but the second they tap all their colorless out, we should just win. Can't think of many cards in their deck aside from like the Emrakul, and the Emrakul dies anyway. Looks like they'll have to tap below. Really? That's kind of messed up. So they'll get to take our creativity, but if I get another creativity, then we should be fine. Cool. And then we'll take the Sharky Boy. So they'll have to take a... Well, I guess technically they could take Shark Typhoon and a Fire Prophecy, but they have to take the Prophecy. And I'm having to take a creativity because I'd like to keep one. Heck, I could even put the Prophecy back if I wanted to, or just fire it off now, but I don't. Really. Actually, it would have just been strictly correct to do. That's my bad. Oh wait, so they have to take the Shark Typhoon. I forgot that it was mana value 3 or less, and not 2 or less and then 3 or greater. So the Shark Typhoon always gets the hit, so it wasn't strictly incorrect to do it that way. It was incorrect to keep the Or to take the Shark Typhoon, though. I should have taken a land or a Prophecy. But at least we pose an interesting question for them. I'll yield. Yield through turn. Very cool deck from our opponent, by the way. I love seeing underplayed cards like Shrine and Distended Mindbender. So they don't take our creativity. It's essentially a fruitless endeavor to do so. It's possible they... Is their last card a land? Okay, it's not. Nothing for me to do here. Nice. Always shows up right when I need it, doesn't it? And let's see, for Emrakul, this is 7 lands, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. So they have enough for Emrakul, I believe, because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so maybe they're off of Emrakul. So let's hope they don't have board wipe that also exiles my stuff, because all his dust wouldn't be enough here. It would kill all their stuff, except for the Distended Mindbender. And sacrifice does trigger dies, of course, so we would have 30 power in play. I don't even think that deck runs all his dust, but it's not like there's a strict build with it. Our Wurm friends, 30 power plus Kazul's Fury should be enough. I mean, 45. They're a big deck, but I don't think they're that big. Lair the Hydra can only be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Essentially 5, because they're not going to tap the Caryatid for it. 5 if they have another land. So 5, 10, that's 16, that's 19, that's 25. So they can block 25 with current board state of our 30, and then we'd be able to send 15 at their face. So that would be exact lethal if that was the line they took. But if they're tapping mana, that means they're not taking that line. They also only have 15 power potentially in play. Mrs. Pilgrimage is not a winning line, though it's not like a losing line. And who expects the Kazul's Fury? They don't have Spell Mastery? That's right, they don't. So they played a forest, and they got a forest? I didn't quite catch that. Balagad Recovery for Titan, not great. They're looking mighty dead here. We know their last card in hand is Titan. They can make this X equal 1. There's no reason for me to do that. I could Creativity one of their targets, like a Cavalier, but it would destroy it. And they would be able to potentially get something stronger. It doesn't matter. They're dead. I know their entire hand. They can make this as a 1-1, so it doesn't matter. 3, 6, 9, 15, 20. We can attack them for 30, and then we can Kazul's Fury them for lethal. Cool deck from our opponent. Thought I made a misplay with the Distended Mindbender. Did make a misplay with the Distended Mindbender, but not the misplay I thought, because I need to learn to read this card a little bit better, apparently. But I think it was correct to play around the potential of them having one of the copies of Warping Wheel that they already showed us that they ran when they milled it. It just would have been such a blowout to the point where we couldn't win. So we might have won on turn 6 or like a turn earlier, whatever. But we would have lost if they had a single copy of Warping Whale. So I'm happy with this decision. I'll just let them make their blocks. I'll even skip ahead just because it's essentially a foregone conclusion. We know their entire hand. Oh, no, they're still blocking. I guess they're just doing the math, because of course math is for blockers. So I won't skip ahead since they're actually moving at a reasonable pace. Okay. You know what? I have some hatred for the Sloths. I have hatred for Caryatid because it's untargetable. Have the least amount of hatred for the Mindbender. It's not done anything wrong to me. Okay. We get to kill all these. And then, just like last time, the second they target something, I'll send it at their face. Kazul's Fury, choose a target, pay 3, sack a creature, trigger, order, resolve. Shuffle that Wurm back, and we could even creativity for it again. But unfortunately, state-based actions do determine our opponent to be dead. So, pretty good match number 3. Feeling a little bit stronger about the double Wurm combo. It's been kind of nice to just have a more consistent spin. Like, you always know it's going to be X number of worms instead of if you needed to emergency creativity with the other version, you wouldn't have that luxury. But the killing on one turn is really nice. So we'll see how it works in match number 4. All right, we are back for match number 4. I recognize this player's name as well. We're going first with a palatable hand. I need a way. I guess I don't even need a way to get this World Spine Worm back, but it's pretty good. We've got redraw with Fiery Impulse, or sorry, not Fiery Impulse, Consider, and we do have Fiery Impulse and Anger as removal. Be easier to decide if I knew what our opponent was on, but of course I do not. I think I'm going to lead on Riverglide and try and find a second land. If we fail, we've got Fiery Impulse and tap land. Well, I guess we wouldn't have Fiery Impulse that turn, but we'd have it next turn. So we'll still get 3 looks at a land. Yeah, I'd love to know what our opponent's on, but shouldn't take too long to figure it out. Most decks are pretty transparent about what they're doing from the first 2 turns. Okay, probably red-black mid-range, if I had to guess from this point. I'll take that land. Guess I'm just looking for... Sensor's good. I was going to say just looking for some more things to fill our grave for dig through time. Maybe something big like Fable would be nice. Sure, I might as well censor that, I feel like. I could also just censor their 3-drop. Yeah, I think I'll just censor their 3-drop. Just kill this. Their deck is just 3 drops, so I'm sure they'll have one. Creativity's kind of good. I don't want to have to cycle the censor, but we might need to if they don't do anything this turn. Okay. I can always just kill that. I'll hold on to it for one more turn. Would love a land, though. Shark Typhoon's good enough. I expect them to potentially just try and slam a Praetor here. Okay, Shatter Skull. And at worst, we can always just go for the Shark Typhoon. And if they put another 3-drop, it's very likely Anger will clean it up. What do they have? Okay. Goodbye, Praetor. Has not been very nice. I think I'm going to cycle this now. Hold open Fiery Impulse. Yeah. I think I'll wait, actually. Because if we do both of these, we'll have 5 things in grave, enough for a dig through time next turn. But I also kind of want to have creativity for next turn, so that's why I want to hold this open for potentially X = 1. I think I'll just play passively here. Missing lands, not great, but Anger helps clean. Dig through time's great because they haven't shown to have a card to get rid of my graveyard. I'll just... no, they'll have to take the creativity here. They could take the Shark Typhoon because it's a 2-for-1. But if they're doing that, they're not taking creativity, and I would never complain about that. Might also take Anger because it's a big board sweeper that hits most cards in their deck. Hits basically everything but Shieldred. And a backsided Graveyard Trespasser, which hopefully we won't have to contend with since we have enough to do. It's kind of a tough choice. Hopefully they just take the Worldspine Wurm. I think that's the pick for them. Because we're going to hard cast it in like 15 turns. So it's probably just the correct call. Yeah, they have to take creativity. Trespasser, maybe? Yep, that makes sense. We can clean up with Anger. I'm actually just click through that. Whoops, that was on me. Cannot justify that at all. But we get a 2-for-1 at least. Yeah, definitely made a bad play like that. Just a little too antsy with the clicking. But we know they don't have another 4-drop. Okay, looks like it's just Bone Crushers left. Okay, I don't really care about that. I'm actually kind of happy to discard a card or two. We could discard the Wurm. We could discard the Censor. I think I'll just discard the Wurm. Get it shuffled back. Consider's good. I'm going to go for it now, because if we hit a land, we can go for Dig Through Time. Okay, not that land specifically. I mean, it is still a land, but I need a better land. Okay, good. Liliana is going to be annoying. We don't have a board presence, but at least our Shark Typhoon can start attacking it. We'll probably pitch the Censor and start attacking with the Shark, unless they fire up one of these two, in which case we'll just kill it. Kill one of them, go to the end step, and this time I'm actually going to not just click through my turn. Let's get rid of everything else is an instant or sorcery. I think I want... So Kenzen Creativity seems pretty good here. I mean, I'm always taking creativity. Prismari Command is also reasonable. Fire Prophecy is also reasonable, but I kind of want a token generator that makes 2 tokens. And I can keep the Liliana off of ultimating in 2 turns. I think I'm okay with this. There's no way they can get 2 removal spells in 1 turn. Yeah. I think I'm done with this. And if we get a land, it's even better, because then we can X = 2. We've got 2 draws for a land. Okay, I mean, that still counts. We'll just think about whether or not we want to play that as a land or not. And there's no reason to attack, because that'd be at 16 instead of 15, which is the breakpoint we care about. I think I'll probably play the Fury out. We'll have to hope that they don't get exactly Thoughtseize here. They've got 2 looks for it. Or Croxa, I guess, was a reason to not do that. Okay, they just commit. We can yield through turn. And discard a Shark Typhoon. I guess they're just playing the hope I don't have exactly creativity, which is completely reasonable. I do have creativity, unfortunately for them. So we'll put 30 power on field. The downtick does nothing because it turns from 15 power into 15 power. If they kill one of these, it would turn from 15 power into 15 power. So they're in a bit of a dilemma. Even if the Liliana was at 6, if they did lands and non-lands, I would take the non-lands every day, I think. Or maybe I wouldn't, because it wouldn't even matter. It'd still be 15 power, no matter, or 30 power, no matter how you split these worms up. So it's pretty fun. They'll probably just ditch whatever it is. I guess not. I don't know what they could have that wins. I'm gonna be a little worried about next game when they bring in the Epic Downfall, because that can actually hurt us. I don't think Hullbreaker Horror is worth it. Shark Typhoon is a 2-for-1. We'll be keeping. We could Narset's Reversal. What instant or sorcery do I care about? Thoughtseize would be nice, but still. What are some big instant or sorceries that we would care about? Aforementioned Epic Downfall. Aether Gust seems at least worthwhile. It's a lot of strong cards. Can probably pitch a Quicken, but also keep a Quicken for the Quicken World Spine Worm. Like the Anger, it was pretty good there. Okay, let's go through the cards I'm never cutting in this scenario. Don't think I ever want to cut any of these. Fable's really good as a 2-for-1. Maybe it is just Quicken and then maybe the Impulse. Maybe the Prophecy. Censor was pretty good to us there. I like Consider as a way to quickly get our dig through time there, as well as one of our only 1-drops. Maybe it's one big score, and I don't know. This is kind of tough. Maybe Prismari Command, because it only deals 2, but it has a lot of good utility in our deck as well, making it difficult to interact with Treasure. I think I'll try something like this. Censor kind of works the same way as Consider. This is tough. I'm not as familiar with this sideboard still. So we'll just go with this. See if it doesn't work out, and then we'll just change it up for game 3. This is a perfectly serviceable hand. Been very worm heavy. Not too ashamed of that, though. No turn 1 Thoughtseize. We'll probably play land. This way we can at least pretend like we have a 1-drop. The only real downside for this would be if we draw another Stormcarved Coast and we didn't want to use Sekens in there, but okay. I want more red anyway. Need double red for the Angry Spell. I guess I'd like them to go for a Fable here, because we can just gust it back. I think that'd be the best play for us. And if they just go for Graveyard Trespasser, we've got an answer for it. This Anger is really good in the matchup. It is way better than I would have given it credit for. Okay, they just pass turn. I'll do the same. Don't really have anything I want to do. They'll stomp me. No? Urborg, nothing else. I wouldn't have gusted a stomp. I guess worst case scenario would be they have Shieldred here, which it seems like they probably do. Just a Fable. Do I Gust this? Do I Prismari command? I feel like Gust just answers this so cleanly, and it's hard to answer Fable cleanly in these matchups. I'll Gust it away. They bottom it, which essentially made this a counterspell. Probably need more red. I guess I can hold on to this Kenzin. Basically the only blue I need is, or double blue is for the dig through time, so we'll just keep playing a slower game, accruing some advantage, taking 3 every turn. Can even kill this now, but I think I can take a little more damage here. If they commit to the board, I'll anger it. If they don't, I'll Prismari command. I'm probably going to Prismari anyway. Okay. Probably treasure loot here. Let me just make sure. I always worry that I'm doing 2 damage to myself. Okay, 2 cards, treasure, yeah. This Wurm is going to grave, and I'm really hoping they don't have, like, Cling the Dust that they cheekily got. I think Fire Prophecy is worse than Prismari Command in this scenario. Wurm back. Goodbye, Wurm. Hate that it doesn't give us any dig through time value, but that's fine. Okay, creativity is kind of good. Do I go for it now? No, I don't think I do. I think I want to hold off just because I'm sure that this deck has a epic downfall going on right now. I will anger right now, though. Okay, hope they don't pitch like a Croxa, but they're a little bit far away because of that anger anyway. I don't know why they'd keep the Fatal Pushes in. Maybe just Shieldred. I mean, that's kind of a pain. 2 damage pain every turn. Dig through time's good enough for me. I think I'm going to just pass and then channel Sekenzin end of turn, or maybe block the Shieldred with it. I could also just go for the creativity now. It's getting a little dangerous for me to not go for it. It's basically just Epic Downfall I care about. I think I'm going to go for it, actually. I'm going to kill this Shieldred, too. Yeah. Okay, I think I came out ahead on that one. I can play this now. Yeah, it basically was 1 mana, turned Shieldred into Bone Crusher Giant, but not even a Bone Crusher in hand, 1 on the field. Okay, Thoughtseize, I guess I'm glad I went for that now. They have an issue with us having 2 dig through times. What did they reveal? That's the exile, so Fatal Push, Thoughtseize, okay. Didn't get any juicy information from making them flip. And since they've seen our hand, they know we have nothing, so I'll just yield out of kindness. Or just politeness, actually. So it's just Epic Downfall that we need to not have them have. And hey, even if they do, we've got Dig Through Time to potentially get us back in the game if we don't just lose here. Which we do if their last card is exactly Epic Downfall. Okay. I think I'll go for a swing first. They just take it. We need to find something to deal with these. But we do have 7 looks. Don't think I'd need more red than I already am using. Okay, please some removal. Okay, that counts. So no matter how they do the combination, if they tap the reflection of Bone Crusher, we can kill that and we'd only take 4. If they don't, we just kill the Bone Crusher or the Den. So I don't think we're dying here. And they'd need like Fatal Push for the Goblin Shaman in addition, which it looks like they might not have. So dang, if we'd sent one of them at their face, they would be losing here, but that's fine. They need a lot of things to go right for them to have an opportunity to win here. I will graciously take 2 when they reflection that. So they need like Thoughtseize in order to have a chance. Thoughtseize and Push would win, because they can never mind. They'd need a Duress and Push, because they can Duress us. We'd have to go for the Fire Prophecy. No matter which one we target, we're taking 2 from that, and then 4. So 8, and then they could kill this. Okay. I think we win. Don't really see a way they can deal 7 with 2 cards in hand. Yeah, I'll bottom it. Why not? If their last card's Epic Downfall, maybe we still lose. But it's not. Fingers crossed. Maybe just a Castle Lockthwain activation. Extinction of it. Jeez, that sucks. But I think they still lose here. We lose these 2. They don't have Den. Maybe their last one's Push. Yeah, didn't matter. Let's see if they did have Push. We draw. Okay, it won't draw us. I guess they'd already left the game. Sometimes it doesn't let us, but we would have had essentially 3 more looks at a good card, but we were kind of running low on gas. Regardless, we got there with the Wurm, single Wurm, not double Wurm, so that helped a lot. And they Thoughtseize us the turn after we did it, so it mattered. But I will see you for match number 5, where we hopefully can take this trophy home. Alright, we are back for the 5th and final match versus an opponent who I do not know, with a hand that I do think is good. We've got a decent combination of cards and lands. Going second. Let's see what they can do. Okay, looks like another Rakdos midrange. I'll probably lead on Riverglide Pathway, then Den. See if we draw anything with Consider. Guess I'm looking for Anger, because that was really good last time. Okay, Blood Tithe. We'll just yield until the end of turn. Consider. Big Score. I do like that card. And we don't currently have anything we would like to do with our turn 4. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Basically, the only thing I'd care about hitting is like a 1 or 2 drop removal spell. Okay, Vents. Might as well play a land that will always come in always come in tapped past this turn. Okay. Let's see what they've got. Probably a Graveyard Trespasser. No, just Bone Crusher, not even Stomp. No stomping going along. Dig Through Time's quite good with our Prismari command. I'll probably loot with it. Maybe pitch Vents Mountain. Hold the Prismari. Yeah, kill this. Loot 2, most likely. Do I want to make a treasure? Probably not. Target player draws cards. Yep. These two can go. I can yield. We are being chunked a couple per turn. If they have a Shieldred, we're in definite danger, which Kalitas. Okay, so they're still on the old version. Not that that's bad, just I'm not used to seeing Kalitas anymore. We are essentially on a 2-turn clock, but I don't want to play big score here very much. I just want to draw creativity. As if it's that easy. But I'm going to ask very nicely to draw creativity. Okay, we'll take 7. Kalitas notably does interact with our Wurm in a way we do not like, since we don't get to get our Wurm tokens. Fable, okay. We'll score. Pitch, land, or Fable. Probably land, because we already got a land. Okay. Not the greatest. Definitely the worst. What am I looking for? If I dig through time now, which I think I might need to, I could also Fable or Sekenzin, hold open Fiery Impulse. We're in a rough spot. No way to sugarcoat that. I think I dig through time here. If I dig and I hit a Anger, I'm in a really good spot. And I can creativity for 1 if I needed to. Okay, we didn't hit anything really great. In fact, I'd say our hits were pretty bad. Maybe Impulse. I could kill both of these and I'd only go to 1. But I could do the same with a Prismari command. Maybe I take command, big score. Yeah. I think I do that. We'll probably command the Goblin Shaman, make a treasure, and then Fiery Impulse the giant. But we're dead to a lot of things here. We lose if they have Stomp in hand. They've got more looks for it. Okay, they ditched 2. So I guess I'm glad I didn't go for Fable. Just straight to combat. I should have done that before they attacked, I think. Yeah, that would have been smarter. I'll make a treasure. That way I can still hold open a creativity as well as a little bit more digging. But I do need to get rid of the World Spine Worm if I want to do that. So, again, we're in a really bad spot. Stomp wins them the game. Let's see if they got it. Stomp or Graveyard Trespasser. Yeah, that works too. Cool, they get it. But not much I could have done about that. So, not looking too good so far. But I want the Shark Typhoon still. Still think I want to bring in Aether Gusts. And I think I cut the Quicken. And what did I cut? Prismari Command, was it? Guess I should have looked back. These are all great. Maybe it was like that. Yeah, we'll jam. I think this will hopefully work out in our favor, but 4-1's still pretty good anyway. Assuming we don't, just crush them here, which we should. Though it's funny that the Kalidas, which is the old version, is just that much better against our deck, making their removal actually matter. And yeah, but they still don't know what version we are. Heck, they don't really know anything about our deck aside from an inference with the big score that we're a creativity list. They didn't get to see any creativity. We didn't discard a Wurm or anything, but we'll see in game 2. Alright, we'll go first with a reasonable enough hand, some removal, some interaction, some token, and 2-for-1s. Think I can keep it. Don't want to mulligan too hard versus the Thoughtseize deck anyway. We've got our 3 requisite reds. They are mulliganing, probably looking for a strong hand to roll us, but we're going to do our best to prevent that from happening. None of our lands are painful on entry, so we'll just keep it like that. Thoughtseize, yep. They'll probably take Shark Typhoon, since it's the strongest card in our hand. Prismari Command's quite good. We can go for a Shivan Reef. Leave as much up to the imagination as possible. Okay. Well, that's going to get shattered at some point. But I can let them commit a little bit more to the board. I guess they think we're the control version of Izzet. But if they play something with 2 HP, that is getting shattered so hard. And they don't have any red, so Aethergust's not looking too hot. I guess I'll shatter Treasure. Yeah, our hand's good enough. They are going to get a draw out, but it's not like they're going to be using their mana. Nothing I think they do at instant speed matters. Where is it at? Destroy target artifact, treasure. Yeah. Target player, I would like to. Destroy target artifact, I would like to. Gosh, hit the control button again. They just either were on the yield button or just really didn't want to draw a card. We'll probably pitch the Gust or Prophecy, depends on what they do here. Another Buster. Well, Buster. It seems to me like they've probably got some red drops. So I'm just gonna hold on to the Gust for another turn. Prophecy's not like amazing here anyway. But nor is our hand. Our hand has not been amazing. I think I'll shatter this now, because I want the redraw a little bit. What do I want to do? Yeah, I think I do want to do this now. Shatter. Dig through time. Very good. Pitch some more lands. I'll blow this on the blue. Depending on how threatening their red card is. Was this Chandra? Fable? I guess I'll Gust it now. Where is it going? They keep it on top. Blood Tithe. There's no reason to go for these right now. I mean, if we're using treasures as our resource, I just don't see a reason to do it. So we know what their next draw is. We've kind of started to exhaust them. If they attack, we can make it a 4/4 if we wanted to use a treasure. Kind of keen on doing that. Could also just kill it. Kind of keen on that too. If we find a creativity, which we have 7 looks at, we'd be able to go for x equal 1 or x equal 2 if we target the Blood Tithe Harvester, because we could spin away their Fable, but that's not like really a great play. I think I'm going to dig through time. Certainly arguments against this. But let's just hit creativity, so I feel vindicated. Neat. This is turn 6. So now I can, let me just verify, yeah, I didn't play a land, so I'll just play 2 land, or play a land in creativity for 2. How do you like that, opponent? So please do not have, I don't have to do it like this, but I always like to be a little paranoid about it. Please don't have Extinction Event, opponent. Because I'll lose. They would have to have exactly Extinction Event as their card that was already in hand, because we knew what their draw was. Okay, cool. We managed to get there with the dig through time. I think it was right to dig at that point, both in hindsight and just because it had a high probability of finding 1 creativity. Even if we didn't find a land, which 7 cards deep, it's kind of unlikely we wouldn't find at least 1 untapped land. A single Wurm probably would get us there anyway. So, match 5, game 3, playing for the trophy. I don't think I want to change anything. D-Stroke could be nice for Cletus. That's about it. Spell Pierce. No. We'll just jam. And cross our fingers that we have a solid hand. They were kind of choked on red mana that game. This is solid. We'll have to start with Storm-Carved Coast, but we've got a lot of value, a lot of 2-for-1s, some removal. And they're starting with 7 as well. I'll keep. We need a 3rd land to get going. No Thoughtseize from them. Would love a land here. Okay. If I'd hit a land there, I could have led with Spire Bluff Canal. But it doesn't change a ton. Bank Buster. Okay. Very good. I guess, I don't know why they are bringing this in versus us. Maybe it's just because they took all the removal out. That would make some sense. And it's just better than Fatal Push versus us. Trespasser. Is that worth us pitching another card for? I'll yield till the end step. Think about it. I guess it's just kind of a clock too. I would probably pitch a Typhoon and bottom a Fable. I think it's kind of worth it. Just get rid of the clock. We win these long games, I feel like. Do I want to discard? No, but I still have to, so I will. I'll bottom a Typhoon. Okay, land is nice. That land is less nice. If we manage to untap with these Goblin Shaman, we're going to be in a great spot. It's unlikely. They could have Stomp, Push, Thoughtseize, Chandra, all of the cards that we don't want to see. If they just jam a Kalitas, okay, Stomp is what they've got, but they can't go for a Bone Crusher here. So maybe they'll just pass. Do I want to consider first? Kind of. Because I kind of like want to discard both of these. What could I draw that would be 4 mana that I care about? Not much. And Shark Typhoon for 1 dies to the same stuff that Shark Typhoon for 2 does. I think I'm going to go for it now. I'll bin that Typhoon. Okay, we get a land. I feel better about binning these 2 now. I could hold on to the Odawara. Maybe I do that. Yeah, I think I hold on to Odawara. In case we draw another land, it's just best to hold on to this. And if we don't, we'll just play it. Okay. We can go for an X=2 with the Typhoon. And we're Thoughtseize proof, or Thoughtseize resistant right now. Okay. They're drawing a little bit. This is tense. I will hope that they didn't draw exactly double Thoughtseize, but I'm going to cycle now. Because that would be their take, I think. And I can yield. Okay, please don't have double Thoughtseize. I think they would have Thoughtseized us on one of the prior turns if they'd have had it. But it's possible that they drew it for turn and off the Bank Buster. So, we'll see. If they just slam Bone Crusher Giant and Bank Bust swing, I think we win. Because we'll have Odawara as land, Shark, and Reflection as our targets for X=2. And then we just win, but... Oof. I'm nervous. They take 1 creativity. That's scary, but they thought about it for a while. Okay, they're looking for another one. Hope they didn't get Thoughtseize. Please don't have gotten Thoughtseize. Okay. Now the question is, do they have Extinction Event? I don't think I can play around it. I could fire up Den of the Bugbear. I am very nervous. We're still at 16. But we lose to exactly Extinction Event. I don't think we lose to much else. Let's get creative. Yield. I yield through the turn. Do your worst, opponent. Hit the 6 button. If we untap with both these worms, there's no way we lose. If we untap with 1 worm, pretty sure we still win. Because of the Kazul's Fury. Okay, let's lean back. And not be able to relax. Not wearing my watch, but I wonder what my heart rate is right now. Okay, that bodes well for us. Land. Okay. Nice! We get there. Yes! Let's not double click through anything. There's nothing for 1 mana that matters. We get there. You can even fire up the Den, but the Kazul's Fury is just better. Come on, opponent, don't do this to us. Begin combat. go to attack, right click, all attack, block. There's no blocks that you can make that win you the game because these have trample. Assign damage 10, assign damage 14, click, and trophy. Yes. So I don't know, maybe the worms are the way. Let me go back to the list real quick. So yeah, that really worked out well. Yeah, 2 worms. We drew a lot of worms, but we would have drawn that many number of Xenagoses most likely. Or at least the worms that we drew, half of the time they would have been Xenagos. I like this build a lot. Every card was pretty good. We never saw Quicken, unfortunately, but dang, Kazul's Fury, even as a one of, we got so much out of it. I mean, we do have a ton of digging with Shark Typhoon and Dig Through Time, and even at its worst, it's just a land, and at its best, it's 15 damage that we just throw straight at face. So, wow. Yeah, I'm glad that we got the trophy. Thank you so much for watching. Big shout out to both the Creativity Discord for showing me and Joe Lamb for making this list. Wow, it's really fun. Wow, it's really strong. And I will see you next time. Thanks again.